Do it.
Okay, we're starting. Okay, so hey everybody.
Don't patronize me.
Honestly, people don't care about how you look. They care about the words that come out your mouth. Like,
Yes.
I care.
That's what they, contact me about. Like, they're what y'all say, what we all say, But thank you for tuning in to the I've Noticed podcast. This is episode 13. Make sure you follow the Facebook page or like the Facebook page, the I've Noticed podcast. You can also follow me on Instagram at Ashley Monique 843. That's all bunched up together. You can I'll be on tour June 2021. You can like my catering page, Ashley's Yummy Tummy Catering. And you can order things off the website AshleysYummyTummy.com. So you guys, you can introduce yourselves and where can they follow you at, and what do you have currently going on that you want them to be aware of?
I'm Whitney. You can find me on Facebook, Whitney Williams. You can also follow me on Instagram, philanthropist, RHO instead of just RO. And you can also follow my blog site page, The Polished Gem, on Facebook. And you can follow The Polished Gem on Instagram at The Polished Gem _ guest features, different people encouraging millennials to be the best version of themselves in their personal and professional lives. And yep, that's it.
Great.
Hi, I'm Cortney. You can follow me on IG at Full Court. FULLCORT. Just so you know, for happy first time watchers, this isn't my final form. I swear.
I'm not laughing at you, Cortney. I'm not laughing at you.
That's it.
Okay, so we're gonna jump right into it. So how I kind of come up with these topics this week is I was going through I think two prior episodes to upload them on YouTube. Make sure y'all follow or go subscribe to the YouTube Ashley's Yummy Tummy on YouTube. And I have a whole playlist of all the videos, all the questions when it was successfully single, and also now that it's I've noticed, but I have it the full version, and then I also have it broken down into questions, like each question 1 through 5. But I was going through videos, and then I was pulling questions from when we had little sidebar conversations and stuff, and we always say, oh, that's a good topic, that's a topic. So all right, so the first topic we're going to talk about is are food baes a real thing? Do anybody what are okay, we're going to each go and say our definition of what we think food bae is, and we say yes or no if it's a if it's a real thing. Okay, so from my understanding, a food bae is where women.
You said a food bae or food date?
Bae, BAE.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
A food bae, like Salt Bae.
Okay.
Yeah. Is food bae a real thing? If I'm not mistaken, a food bae is where just a girl just goes out on a date. She's really not interested in the guy at all whatsoever, but he's willing to feed her, and so she's like, fuck it, might as well, I ain't doing nothing else. Who would pass up dinner or lunch? I didn't really know that was a real thing. I just thought it was, I guess it's kind of like going into the dating date type of thing. But I've recently learned that there are women that go out with men just for food fulfillment purposes. Are we aware of that?
Yes, we're aware.
I wasn't. And Cortney kind of put me onto that, So Cortney, can you kind of elaborate a little? Well, no, matter of fact, let's let Whitney go, because since you know for sure though, and then you had an example of somebody that you know. So Whitney, what do what's your definition of it? You said that it is a real thing. So what's your background?
So I feel like people just give names and stuff. Like people make things a thing when it doesn't have to be a thing. Like that's not a thing that should be a thing. Like people are hungry. Like that's like you offering to pay for somebody's food and they accept it. Like that's not out of the norm. Like if you're going, going on a date just necessarily have to be like, oh, you only can accept if you are so interested in me, and unless you know we're gonna go further, don't you accept this date? Like, so what if so you offer somebody to go on a date and they really, I shouldn't say. I feel like the women who do go out on dates with guys, and they really may not be like interested in like going any further. But I think there's just like some level of, I don't know if this is gonna work out, but we can still go out on a date or go out to eat, still have a good time, and I'll be good. Like I'm not probably interested in, taking it a step further, but we can go out and enjoy each other's company. Like I don't think anything is wrong with that. Like I don't understand why.
Well,
That's
let me play devil's advocate. So if that's the case, go with what you just said, where she kind of knows it's not really going any further, and oh, we can go out to
yeah.
eat. Is he obligated to pay? Like, should he pay? Because
Well, I mean,
that's where it comes in at, is that the woman isn't paying.
well, I mean, if you invite somebody to dinner, why should they pay? Like if you say, "Hey, I want us to go to, I don't know, Red Lobster or whatever case y'all may be going. I want us to go to XYZ place, and will you go out with me or whatever?" Like, why would she have to pay? And I feel like that's anything. Like if I'm inviting somebody someplace, like not that I'm necessarily gonna say like, oh yeah, I'm paying every time, but if I'm inviting you out somewhere, like I don't expect the person to always to pay. Like if they took time out to come where you invited them, they didn't have to come. You the one that invited them to come. Like you should be the one having to pay. So, if you invite somebody someplace, especially like on a date, like yes, you should have to pay. Like why should she have to pay?
Okay, so guys that's watching, or guys that are watching, how do y'all feel about what Whitney is saying? So she's saying that you don't necessarily have to pay per se, but so if a girl, guys that's watching, a girl isn't really interested and she knows it's not going any further, would you rather her just say no, I'm good, or come with you on the, but you know what, guys are weird. That's why I wish Daniel was here, because
Yeah.
like because I was seeing like a meme that was going around, and I guess we can talk about this on another episode as well, but it was like, if you take a girl on a trip, is she obligated to like screw you? And so of course the guys was like,
Yeah.
yeah, like duh, like, and then one guy did say something that kind of made me be like, he was like, first off, why would I invite her a trip if we wasn't already doing that anyway? He's like, I'm not just about to meet some random or some girl that I'm in the process of getting to know and then be like, hey, you want to go on a trip with me? And I'm paying for it too.
Ashley,
oh no, I know they do.
they do.
Listen, I got some things lined up. I just ain't confirmed it yet.
Yes,
I know they do.
it.
And they do it trying to impress you, like not necessarily impress you as far as like financially or whatever, but just like, I want to show you a good time. And I think that's kind of like how dinner is too, a dinner date or a lunch date. I just want to have a good time. Like I've had guys be like, I just want to put a smile on your face. You're so grumpy sometimes. You're so mean. I'm like,
yeah.
What about you, Cortney? Clearly it's a real thing.
I think it's a real thing. I know a girl that used to literally only go out with like certain people because she wanted a free meal. Like she was like leading them on, but not like in an extreme way. You know what I mean? But like in a subtle way, like she would just keep responding and stuff like that, acting like there's still conversation. When really she literally only went out with them when she wanted to get free food. Man.
I bet guys, dang, I wish Daniel was here too.
I know, like
but yeah, I know like from God, like I've been seeing guys when this question is being raised or when this is being talked about, it's just like it feel like like if you know that I'm interested in getting to know you or I'm interested in you on a different level and I invite you out and you know you're not interested in me at all, like don't just come and just wanna get a good meal and I'm gonna pay and you're gonna have a good dinner. Like, don't do that. So I guess like the guys are really they're not into that.
They're not into that at all. Like, and then as a grown woman, I'm trying to be cautious of the things that I accept as well. Cause like what you were saying earlier, Whitney, like if somebody invites you somewhere, then automatically they're paying. And then you may not have anything scheduled to do anyway. So you'd be like, okay, well, why not? I'd rather chill with you versus just sitting in the house, same old, same old. But I'm kind of cautious of certain things because thank God for social media. And I know some people are gonna say, oh, you can't believe everything that's online. Somebody typed it. And a lot of y'all are sharing it. So clearly people are feeling it, thinking it. Hence, I've noticed,
What they
podcasts.
said.
Like they're just like, they won't ask. Like if they're spending money, like I don't know. Like, is that a gentleman thing? Like if you just take somebody out and have a good
That's a
time
good
and not
thing, a good
anticipate
point.
anything.
Yeah, that's a good point you brought up, Ashley, because I feel like, I don't know about anybody else, but I feel like the people that have asked me out to go different places, whether that's to dinner or to an event or to a function or whatever, like that's not even a thought to them, like, I'm gonna have to pay. It's kind of like we go out, I pay, we have a good time, you go back home or whatever. Like, it's not a thought like, okay, if she I got to see if she's serious before I pay for it. Like, it's that's not the thing. Like that's just, it's kind of like a normal thing. Like, you
I
go
would
out,
think
you
so.
pay,
I would think.
you go out, you be a gentleman, you open the door, you do look like, it's, I feel like if you're a gentleman, like, certain things to you are not gonna feel like it's out
Obligated.
of
All
the
right.
norm. Yeah. Like, it's
Yeah.
not gonna be anything
Mhm.
that you feel like you're doing extra. Now, if you somebody that's putting on and you only doing this to whatever, have sex with the girl, or you're just doing it just to try to impress her or whatever, it's gonna feel like you're working. You got to work to do this and you got to work to do that. But when you're a gentleman and it's already a part of like who you are, and you're really like into like the dating and courting a female, like those things right there don't even phase you. Like, you pay for dinner, even if it didn't go well or whatever. Like, you pay for dinner, like, okay, that's what, I don't know, $40 less you have. Like, I mean, it's not a big deal to some people. And I guess that's like kind of where you have to kind of figure out like what do you like what type of guy is gonna do it for you. Like, do you really want somebody that's out like pitching, I mean, not pinching pennies, but it's just like, okay, I can't let this money go unless I know she gonna make me her man. Like, is it that serious?
I honestly, I think like because I'm about to get back on like, well, I pretty much been budgeting. Like, I remember off camera, I was like, I ain't been getting my nails done for a couple months.
Yeah.
I've been saving. I cut off my Netflix. I've been sacrificing or whatever for a greater purpose. But I think you should I think people should factor in, if it's not already on your budget line, factor in, and I think people just put it in entertainment. Factor in dating, like, our entertainment purposes, or you can break it down, entertainment, maybe just you yourself, like going out somewhere. But I don't know, like, I wonder if it is a budget. Like, is it a budget? Because I know who has the 2 for $20, like Applebee's or something like that. Like,
Yeah.
are you offended? Like, are people offended by coupons? Like, you like, hold on, can you scan this app real quick? Like, yeah, like adult entree. Like, I'll just be like, oh, okay, I'm like,
Some
okay.
people think, oh, you being cheap. Like, man, you can't pay the full $20.
I'll tell you one thing, like, I've had where, and Cortney can attest to this, where, like, if somebody's paying, like, I'm always leaving, like, a tip. Like, if you're going to pay, then at least I'll leave a tip, I do that. I try to chip in where I fit in, pretty much.
Yeah.
So, I think we all agree that food bait is a real thing. So, and if as far as women goes, like, if you're not, I think if you're just not interested, then just decline the offer, decline the meal this time. Warm up your hot pocket or something, But okay, so topic number 2, women that date mid ugly men only. Okay, so I brought this up because I am that woman who date mid ugly men, and throughout previous episodes we had where other women as well, they was like, I understand, I clearly get it. And wish Daniel was up here again, because I want to know, like, do guys do that as well? Like, do guys be like, I don't want the baddest bitch, like, I don't want the girl with the fat, I don't want the prettiest girl, I like, because for me, the reason why I date like mid ugly guys, well, first off, let me break down
Sorry.
mid ugly is more like, to me, I wouldn't converse with and I guess this goes into the complexion thing. Like, I don't want to deal with no light-skinned Drake. I wouldn't deal with a Drake. Like, just to give you a person, like, I wouldn't deal with a Drake. Who else light-skinned with good hair? I just wouldn't deal with a Drake. Because Drake just come with too many problems. You know? Like, and the reason...
Not just because he light skin, or that a lot of people
it's
are
just that
attracted
he's
to him?
attractive. And so as far as when I say problems, I mean, like, I have to be competitive with him. Like, I always gotta upkeep shit. Not saying that I don't upkeep myself, but it's just more work on me. Like, I already got the kids, we got the businesses, we got the house, we got like, it's just too much, you know. Not saying that I'm not gonna work for my man or work for my relationship or let myself go per se, but I just feel like it's just a lot of extra that goes into dealing with fine, handsome men. And I'm going based off the stereotype, you know. Not saying that I wouldn't necessarily deal with a lighter skin complexion guy, but I don't prefer it. Yeah. I prefer like nerds. I like hormones. You know, guys that you would like overlook, you know. And I'm like, oh, he got a great personality. He's cute. Like, he's still attractive, but he's just not, you know, like where girls are lining up, you know.
Well, that's another thing you got to deal with, like you said. Like, you got all these other things going on. Like, not, I feel like not that you don't want the person that you're talking to or your man or your woman to be attractive, but like if they're like freaking
gorgeous,
drop dead gorgeous,
yeah,
and like sexy. When I say sexy, I mean when somebody look at you, they thinking like, ooh, like he the one.
So give me like a male actor or actress, or, you know, like,
Girl, I got it for you. Let me tell you. Like, I don't think I consciously think like, okay, let me just talk to a medium ugly guy. It's just, I think it just so happens like if I see somebody like and they're just like super attractive and everything is just in place together, I'm just kind of like, I don't know about that. 'Cause, like, it was this one guy that tried to talk to me, and he was like, I mean, his beard was just, he had a bald head, like he just looked fine, and I was just like, I don't know if that's what I want. Like, I need somebody that's a little, not, I wouldn't say not attractive,
crunchy, a little
like
crunchy,
just something about them that may be off to other people. Like, you know, you look at certain people, you're like, oh, you know, like, I don't know, he look all right. Like, I like the oddness in people's you know, physical appearance. But y'all know Franklin from Snowfall, Dancing Idris?
Okay, is that the main character?
Yes, he plays Franklin on Snowfall.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, like he's like, to me, he's one of those people where, well, to me, I think he looked good. Like, he looks so good, but I feel like to other people, he may not be as attractive as, like, I mean, Michael B. Jordan is cool, but I really don't really think he's all that.
Now, when you're talking about him, real or his character that he portrays?
No, I'm talking about
real life. Okay.
But yeah, real life, like, just how he looks is just so, like, you know, it just, I feel like, you know, everybody may not just look at him and think sexiest man alive. You know, like certain people you look at, you can see like, oh, okay, I can understand sexiest man alive, or people like falling over him. But like, I don't want it to be like, there's nothing wrong with it. You know, I feel like you want to have somebody that's attractive. And I feel like for guys, they do want to have that. Like, they want to have a female that other guys
want. Yep.
Yeah. And I think for females that's really not the case. Like, we don't want to have somebody that's super attractive and we know that everybody wants. But I feel like for guys, again, wish Danielle was here, but I feel like for guys, that's something that they want. They want to like step out and people want their woman. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, not that saying that women we just want ugly men. We just want somebody that's not attractive. Not, you know, that's not the case. But I feel like guys probably think of that more so than females do.
Well, guys that's watching, is that true? Like, do we make a good assessment that y'all do want attractive females? Like, you want a woman on your arm, you want your baby mama, your girlfriend, your wife, whoever, you want your homeboy to look at her and be like, man, when they break up, I'll fuck the shit.
Yeah, my cousin KK said she do. She wants somebody that's attractive and that look good on her arm, just the same as she look good on his, which, you know, she got her person. But, you know, like, that's, you know, I feel like certain people, like, not saying that it's all about looks, but you know, they want to look good together, and I think you should look good
I
together.
know that's right.
Compliment.
You see what Karen said? She said,
Yeah, she said, I feel like everybody want my man, and I'm okay with that. Okay, honey. Yes, like I mean, that kind of make you feel like it makes you feel a little good because you're like, I know people want my man or want my woman, but really, I mean, they can't have them because that person is, you know, we're together. Like that's my person type of thing.
right,
So
right.
I mean, I feel like you know, you can kind of if you solidify like that, if you know this is your person, and you know, like you got them, like you know, that stuff wouldn't bother you. Just kind of like almost kind of like stroke your ego a little bit, like
Yeah,
you
like
know.
a trophy, like because men,
Yeah.
older men, they consider what like a trophy wife or something like that, where you know she just well put together and well, I think the trophy wife thing is like she don't really have nothing going on other than
Right.
her
Yeah.
being beautiful.
Well, I don't think that necessarily has to be a trophy wife. I think it's just anyone that you feel like you could show off.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that looks good together. Like, I mean, you want some. I mean, I ain't want nobody now. I ain't want nobody that.
Yeah. Because when you was talking about that guy, because I still have, I'm behind. Like my cousin, I really don't want to admit this publicly, but I know my cousin gonna be like, I've been told you to watch Snowfall. I'm gonna watch it, but I ain't got into it yet. But
Oh
a
my gosh,
character.
I know y'all can't see, but this is.
Oh yeah, I seen him on the Shade Room because I didn't even know who he was. It was like maybe like a
Yes.
couple of days ago. He was dancing to like an African song or something like that,
Oh my
and his
gosh,
shirt.
it looks so good.
But you know, let me tell you my person who people would probably say, Kofi, he's on Queen Sugar, the
Girl,
dark
please,
skin.
everybody be on him. No, he
Listen,
that is
no,
not
but I was on
somebody.
him first before anybody. No, I was on him first. You know, well, nobody paying him no attention or whatever. Like I was hashtagging him, so if he clicked on his
But I'm
hashtag,
saying
then he
though,
saw
people
me.
have always thought that he was attractive though. Like he's not one of those people that's medium ugly, nothing.
But you know, a lot of some women don't like dark skinned dudes. You know, so I was like, I was hoping that would work for me. You know, I was like, okay,
Yeah.
you know. But I'm not really there with him no more because of his character, and that's another thing we can probably kind of talk about a little bit. Like you associate real people with characters. Like I don't like his character no more, and so he gets on my nerves. You know that Ralph Angel character. Oh, he fine.
Yeah.
He fine.
But you know what? While we talking about this kind of brings to my attention too. Like when I don't know, I feel kind of offended for other people. Like when guys or like when people are in a relationship and they call themselves like expressing their appreciation for like their woman or whatever, and they be like, oh. You know, she might not be the baddest, but she the realest or something like that. Like, I feel like
I know what you're talking about.
that's a
I know what
backhanded
you're talking.
compliment. And I hate when guys say that. Like, why would you say she might not be the baddest, but she the realest? Like, that's a backhanded compliment. What you mean she might not be the
Right,
baddest?
it is.
Because you define what's bad to you. So if you
Yeah.
feel like your woman is XYZ, like she's beautiful, she's ambitious, she got things going on for herself, like that should be your definition of bad. So when you say I ain't got the bad, it's like by whose definition are you saying? Like I hate when guys say that. What you mean like you ain't got the baddest, but you got the realest? Like what? That is a backhanded compliment.
Yeah. I've seen those. I've seen those memes. Like I've seen where husbands and they be like, and we rolled out. We've been riding this train for 12 years. And I'm like, but it be going viral. It be going
Yeah.
viral because he'll post like, you know how now they got the how it started and how it's going type of
Yeah.
thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
What happened? Is somebody coming in?
this
What?
hold on, because I thought somebody was Courtney, don't do that. Don't do that. But all right. So Courtney, are you gonna come in and talk about your mid ugly? Like what type of guys are you attracted to? Or just do your voice or whatever. Just
Oh my gosh, Brittany, come back here. Come back.
talk about your mid ugly. Like how you
I'm sorry. I'm looking at me on this feedback, and I'm
don't
just
look
like,
at it. Don't look at it.
I don't need to be on here. Like, I look sick. I look like a tree monster, Whitney. I don't think. I hate when people say that they go for medium ugly people. I don't like that. I just don't.
But it's true.
But I mean, when you really think about it, everybody's medium ugly to somebody. There's somebody.
True.
I know somebody thinks I'm ugly as hell right now, but I mean, people. There's someone medium ugly to everybody. So like,
Right.
I don't think I just don't like that. I look for medium ugly people. I think it's a horrible reason of why. Like, I guess maybe in a sense you don't want everybody who wants that person. I guess that kind of makes sense. But my thing is like, what does that matter besides who the person that you with wants?
Yeah.
So, I mean,
I get what you're saying. I mean,
it's medium ugly people cheat too.
Everybody, well, I was about to do it. I was everybody cheats, you know. Yeah. I feel that way. I'm sorry. I feel that way. Kind of everybody cheats just on in their certain facet of way. You know, you got your work husband, you got your emotional cheat, you got your social. I mean, people, but to me, I just don't. Certain things can be avoided. For example, a guy without a car. Like if you're dating and a guy without a car, like, you know, you're gonna have to pick him up all the time. Like the transportation thing is gonna be a guy with 3 kids and 3 baby mamas. You know, it's gonna be some type of drama, and then financially, he's not gonna be able to date or go places where you want to go all the time because you got to take care of his household and those other 3. Like just certain things. To me, this is my logic. This ain't written in stone. This ain't in no Bible. This is just me. I just feel like I can avoid certain situations by dating not so attractive guys. Like
I disagree with that statement because that same medium ugly person can have 3 baby mamas and 3 kids. That same medium ugly person can. Exactly. So why do you typically have to search for medium ugly or what you think other people would think is medium ugly?
And I think it's what that person feeds into, because I feel like it's really not a problem if the person,
Whitney, your audio.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me good now?
Yes.
Yeah, I was saying it's really not so much as about the person being attractive, because a person can't help how they look. If they look good, they look good. Like if they're attractive, they're attractive. I feel like it becomes a problem when, you know, you have those certain people who kind of feed into that popularity and they feed into like getting that attention from other people. I feel like that's what I don't like. I don't like people who they feed off people who kind of like are into them because of their looks. Like I feel like they're probably like, the word for it is like they're more vain about it. Like, yeah, you know, you look good, but you ain't gotta like be doing all that extra stuff to, you know, make people like pay attention to you more. So I feel like when the other person feeds into it, and I know you have that type of personality and that type of vibe, it's just like, I don't want that, because again, like what Ashley said, it's gonna bring in some issues. Like this person, you got this girl want to say this girl saying that, this person trying to make it seem like it's something that it's not. Like you have to deal with those type of things, because that person, they enjoy that, getting that attention. Even though they may be with that person, they enjoy getting that other attention from other females, or they enjoy getting that attention from other males. That's the part that I don't like, and it just so happens that you get those issues with people who are super super attractive. Yeah. And so like I don't necessarily go for like the medium ugly guys. I just feel like I'm attracted to people that, I don't know, like appearance wise, like automatically you might not look at them and just be like, oh, he fine. But it's like when I look at them, like that's what I see. I don't look at them and say, oh, he medium ugly. But I just look at them and know, like I look at him, I look at them and know that, I look at them to know that he's attracted to me, but I also am conscious that other people may look at him and say, "Oh, he ain't that fine," or you know, he don't look like that. It's just like, to me, I see fine. Okay. Yeah, exactly. Like to me, I see fine. To you, you may see medium ugly. Like, you know, whatever that is.
Yeah, and then like even behind this, and I get what both of you are saying. I get what you're saying, Cortney, when you say, okay, well, the medium ugly guy, like he does have kids and stuff. But honestly, if we all think about it, take a step back. It really isn't the medium ugly guys that has the kids. It's the medium ugly girls that got the kids with the dudes that got a lot of kids. And you know this because like it's one girl in particular that she got like a lot of kids. Mm-hmm. Like a lot of kids. And she's never been in a relationship like publicly with none of her baby daddies. So clearly that was like some on the low, some roach hours, sneaking type stuff, you know.
Not roach hours.
And I'm like, and I mean, she's a less attractive female, you know, according to what a lot of guys say or whatever, but clearly somebody, like, they sneaking over there, you know, they sneaking over there. So basically that was some real life proof of what Cortney was saying, like, there are less attractive people that still be getting it in, or somebody's attracted to them, if not for relationship purposes, for relations purposes or whatnot. I see what I already got. Hello.
What you got going on over there?
Multitasking. All right. Okay. So that was the mid ugly. Cortney, you're more on the however they look. It's just how they look. I talk to them if I'm gonna talk to them. Me and Whitney kind of got a plan here for blocking bitches. No, because even like on the little dating apps and stuff, like when guys their profile picture pop up, I'm like, nope, too fine, nope, nope. Like I just certain stuff I'm just not going with. I'm going for because I can avoid. All right, so topic number 3: should cartoon characters be canceled? And the reason why this came up is because what is it? What's the is it the skunk or whatever?
Pepe Le Pew, Pepe Le Pow, Pepe something, Pepe the skunk.
Okay, so he was aggressive. I'm not gonna lie, he really was aggressive. Or he was just more. Would we consider it aggressive or just like, because he kind of give me, I shared y'all behind the scenes. I shared y'all the link with the Nikki Parker. He kind of give me Nikki Parker feels. Like she wanted Professor Ogilvy, and he wanted the other. Well, it was a cat, right? It wasn't even a real skunk that he was. Wasn't it a cat?
I believe it was a girl skunk.
I thought it was like a cat.
I think there was an episode where he mistaked the cat for a skunk or something like that, or a cat was trying to trick him or something.
Okay, well, how do y'all feel about canceling? How do you feel about the cancel culture, period? And then now that it's gone as far as to cartoon characters, not even real people, but cartoon characters.
I feel like cancel culture started out as like
your volume. Is your microphone covered?
I don't know, maybe.
Okay, I can hear you now. Good.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like cancel culture kind of started out as a way to like, okay, we're gonna make sure like we can eliminate people who mean us no good or that's detrimental to the culture. But I feel like as time went by, like it's getting ridiculous. People just want to counsel people just because they have a difference of opinion or counsel people just because they think differently than them. And, it's just really getting to be too much. However, I do feel like, when it comes to like kind of like the cartoon thing or just like other things going on like that, I feel like it's great that they're redefining some roles and becoming aware of certain like unconscious bias or different things that may have happened or may have been portrayed. I feel like it's good that they're acknowledging that and trying to make it better. But I just don't agree with just counseling people just because they have a difference of opinion or they don't think like you do or something like that. And I feel like that's a lot of where the cancel culture comes from. It's not because they did something that's so detrimental that it's just like, okay, we can clearly see they don't support the culture. Some of it is just like, I don't think the way you think and now I'm canceled. But I mean, I don't really take cancel culture seriously. Like,
you don't take it serious. How can you not take it serious when it's like people's livelihoods are like at risk here?
Well, I mean,
you personally don't.
Like, yeah, I personally don't take it seriously because it's like people will cancel somebody and then next week they'll be team Kanye. Like Kanye cancel, but nah, this week everybody team Kanye or such and such cancel was supposed to be canceled, but somehow they are uncanceled. I don't take it seriously in that sense. Like it's just like the people are just canceling people and things just to cancel it, but then they'll turn around and still support it the next month or whenever the controversy has died down, then it's like, okay,
whenever
like
it's not trendy to cancel people. When it's not trendy anymore to cancel that person, they move on to the next.
Yeah, or they do something that's one thing that's good. I don't know how everybody feels about Trey Songz or whatever, but you remember when Keke Palmer had that incident with Trey Songz, and everybody was like, oh no, Trey canceled, like how can he let this happen and put Keke in that situation and all that other stuff, and then like just recently the whole what was it, a video? or
Wait a minute, hold
something.
up. They didn't cancel. You mean like when she said that he had her in the closet, like she was so scared she was in the closet hiding
Yeah,
from him? They
yeah.
didn't cancel him
I
then.
think I heard it from both sides. I heard more flack towards Kiki and everything
Yeah,
else
it
like that.
was.
He did an interview on the Breakfast Club after that, talking about she got my number. She could have just called me, and everyone was holding on to that one statement to where it sounded like to me, because I heard more complaints about Kiki, but everyone was holding on to that statement for their fight for Trey Songz. Like they're like, exactly, she should have handled this behind doors. What's it called? But I mean, Kiki's my girl.
I
I was
don't know
always
how
on her
people feel. I know for me, like the people that I'm friends with, the people that I followed were pretty much Team Kiki. Like, when the situation happened. But I just use that as an example because it could be something like that that happens, and all of a sudden, something drops or whatever. Now it's like everybody forgot about the person that they canceled, or like just say for Kanye, for there whatever reason, if you're Team Kanye, not Team Kanye, like everybody said, oh, he canceled, and he did this, and oh, he canceled when he made that whole comment, the slave comment. Everybody's like, oh, he just also whatever. But if he drop a new project and drop some new music, not that he can't still be a great artist, but it's just like, oh, people are still gonna be talking about it. They're gonna be downloading the music. They're gonna be streaming all of these things, and even like still talking highly of him, even if it's in like the artist aspect. It's just like, so where does the cancel culture stop? Like when you cancel somebody, is it just like, oh, are we just canceling them right now? And if they do good and do right, then we can welcome them back. Like that's what I don't get about the cancel culture.
Yeah, because even going like with Kevin Hart. Remember when they tried to cancel Kevin Hart
Yeah.
when he not first did comedy, because he been doing comedy, but when he really got popular, and then people started. I think it was last year. I think it was last year. I maybe the year 2019. But somebody went back or whatever, and then pulled up his like the real popular comedy special. And he was talking about his son. He was like, if his son was gay, he like do something to him. Like, no, quit. It was funny. Like the shit was funny. And he's a comedian. And like you can't even. And then a lot of people were saying, if comedians can't make us laugh with real life content, then what is there left to have?
Oh yeah,
Like
because trust me,
seriously.
if comedy was like how it was back then, like they was really making jokes and making fun of stuff that people would really look at them side eye. Now, like they couldn't, these comedians probably couldn't say half the stuff they used to back in the day now
Oh
They
no.
because
couldn't. They
yeah,
couldn't.
like
There's
everybody
there's
was
some
canceled.
there's some that's like one guy like I like, he's real, I guess you would say raunchy, but Andrew Schultz, like it's a white guy who hangs with Charlemagne. They on a podcast, The Brilliant Idiots, whatever.
Hmm.
But he don't give a damn. He don't care. He says it.
Yeah, yeah. So it's just like I don't know. Like sometimes, like I said, I feel like it started out as a way to kind of like protect the culture, but after a while, I feel like it got into people just want to cancel people just because they did something that somebody didn't like, or they had a different opinion, or they supported one person, or they were seen with this one person, and now all of a sudden they cancel just because of this one thing, not because they did anything detrimental. It's just because we didn't like what they said, or we didn't like what they did, or who they supported. So
Right.
I mean, I
And
really
I
don't
mean,
even think of it.
and like you were saying, like especially if it's like a person who's like really big, they don't really get canceled anyway. It's like there's really no point in saying that you're gonna cancel it,
It's like
although it has
Beyonce. Like,
worked
how you
for
gonna cancel Beyonce?
you can't, because one,
Cancel.
I'm not gonna let anybody cancel Beyonce by myself.
No, I'm
So
just saying not that she's canceled, but I'm saying when Courtney was like, that's like having somebody like with a big name. Like, how you gonna cancel Beyonce?
right,
She can't do nothing
it
for
did
you to
work
cancel
for
her.
somebody smaller. I forgot her name, but she's one of those like indie alternative R&B type of people. Like I
It's a
can't
black
think of her
girl.
name. No, it was a Spanish girl, and they went back on her Twitter. And apparently, like she was making fun of like dark skin or something, like calling people monkeys and stuff like that. And then like she had said the
Lord.
N word a few times,
Well,
and it
shit,
actually worked.
Cardi B did it. She was calling girls roaches and
Cardi B
stuff.
is on a different caliber than this girl that I'm talking about.
They tried, but they
But
tried.
see, and then that whole thing with Cardi B, like when they was saying that she had called. See, this is my thing. I don't understand why we accept some of these things. Like, okay, so let's say Cardi B and this black woman got into an altercation. They was not altercation. They got into an argument or whatever, exchanged words on social media, whatever the case may be, and she called the girl a roach. Let's say she just called the girl or her girl and the girl and her homegirls roaches. How did that become roaches is now
The statement for
yeah,
black people.
yeah, for black women, like I would not associate. Like, when did we become associated with roaches? I mean, just because the person that she was arguing with was a black woman, like I don't.
Just to play devil's advocate, me personally, what I would counter that with is that normally when you hear two people insulting each other, you don't hear people calling people roaches. I've never heard an argument between people where they be like, "You fucking roach!" Like I never.
Oh, you know what? When I had custody of my little cousin, they was calling each other roaches. but she's like born in 2004, so they was calling each other roach. But they was like, "What's up, roach? What's up, roach?"
What was your point in that, Cortney? What was your point? What was your point in saying?
My point was like when you were like, why does now roach mean like that meaning for dark skin? Like, why does roach dark skin women? I'm saying like that would be my point because like Ashley said, like she heard people saying roach and all stuff like that. But when I think of like people arguing, roach is not something that comes up in my head when I picture like the people that I've heard argue or the people I saw that were about to fight and all that stuff like that. So that was my point. That would be what I would argue with that. Like, not saying that has to mean like, what she meant.
Yeah, like I guess you're saying like, okay, you call me a roach because you're saying because of like how I look, like I'm like a roach. I don't know.
I think that's what because when you think of roach, you think of Dark Knight, whatever. But you do have a point. When did roach equate to black women or dark skinned people in general?
Yeah, and I feel like people kind of use that against her. Like they wanted to amplify that. Cause I don't know if y'all know, I'm Team Cardi B, Cardi Gang. But so I feel like people really like use that to hold like amplify like, oh yeah, she's against, like they really try to put her against like, oh, it's Cardi B versus black women just because she called this girl a roach. Like, I mean, I get it. I get like kind of what Cortney is saying, how they could be like, okay, well, I mean, that ain't something like normal. You just calling somebody a bitch or something like that. Like you saying she's a roach. Like, where did that come from? But I still don't understand like how now that is like a derogatory term towards black women.
And I think we can kind of like, I think people try to slide things in there with speaking with that, because let's go with the roach analogy and let's go with a monkey analogy. No, we haven't heard many black people be associated or affiliated with being called a roach. So we be like, a roach? What the fuck? Wait, boy, get out of here. Girl, get out of here. But when you hear, oh, you look like a monkey, like that's a monkey, because we've heard that before.
Yeah, right. That was something like that. Then I would have been like, okay, now I can understand now.
Right. Okay, so Cortney, would you like
Cardi
to add
B is
anything?
Hispanic though, isn't she?
Dominican.
I think that's where the word roach comes from, because that's from Connecticut. I used to live in a neighborhood where there's nothing but blacks and Puerto Ricans and blacks and Hispanics, period. That was a derogatory term for Hispanic people because of how they live. So yeah, like if you catch, it basically is really for like Mexicans. You catch Mexicans and they're all in the same house, so they kind of like stay together and things. So a lot of people refer to them as roaches.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, see now something.
I mean, I get it.
I don't know what y'all were talking about. I just came in on.
Listen what he said. They stay together in the same house. Roach. Like, what? That ain't even a definition of a roach. Like, I get what you're saying.
But you get like literally, if you turn in some of the projects, you turn the house on, you turn the light on. There's about 50 million roaches going different directions. So I don't know what y'all was talking about. I just came in on that part.
Well, welcome, Daniel.
Hey, y'all.
Okay, and so Daniel's just coming in, and Miss Cortney has to exit out. So this was perfect timing,
You really gotta leave, or you just leaving us to have?
Exit out.
Why got stuff she gotta do?
I said you really gotta leave, or you just trying to have us hanging because you don't want to see yourself on the screen. You just
I really do have to go, but I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna be really relieved when I turn this camera on. I'm not gonna lie. I'm with the rep. So Daniel, high five me so we can tag team.
No.
Oh, he said no.
Because you should have
All
stayed
right.
on.
But
Well, I'll see
a
y'all
smooth
next Sunday.
transition. A
All
smooth.
right, bye, Court.
Bye, y'all. See y'all next Sunday.
All right.
Okay,
Still
so
fired.
Danielle, what's your opinion on canceling first off the cancel culture period, and then now that it's gotten so far as the canceling cartoon characters?
The cancel culture period, some of it is justified. You know what I'm saying? Well, I won't say justified. I just feel like some of it, most of it, I understand. You know what I'm saying? But there's a limit. Sometimes you just go too far, and I feel like canceling. You talk about Pepe, right? Pepe Le Pew.
Yeah,
Like I get what you're saying, but at the same time, it's a cartoon character. You can literally change what he or she does. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't feel like it should have to be canceled totally. Like, they're totally Xing him out of the new Space Jam movie. Totally Xing him out of it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, this is a lot. You know what I'm saying? And I just feel like, and this might go, I might get crucified for this, but people just need to stop being so sensitive.
Because a lot of people say that.
It's just sensitive as like,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Somebody say the wrong thing, and I think I heard Whitney say when I got on the live, just because you disagree with it,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? You ready to cancel something because you disagree with it? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's you sensitive. I'm
and
sorry.
it's so crazy because that's an animated or cartoon character, and like you said, all they got to do is rewrite the script.
All you got to do is rewrite it.
But yet they are, and I've read because I'm a comment reader. Like, I love reading people comments and opinions and stuff when I see articles. And so I saw what people was like, oh, so you'll cancel what this character is doing, but yet you're currently writing in homosexual characters, like guys that's kissing on each other, women that's kissing on each other, like, so you don't want to prevent our children from going that route. And I was like, this shit
the simple fact is this is my thing. And I actually shared the post that you sent me. I shared Nikki Parker's picture, and I said she gives just as much rape culture as Pepe Le Pew, if you really want to be honest. You know what I'm saying? But she ain't canceled. I know the show is canceled, but like, you get what I'm saying? Why are we splitting hairs at this point?
And
you know,
I mean, and you're right. She was an actual real life
stalker. She broke in this man. It was written that she broke in this man's house. Nikki Parker from the Parkers.
Oh, the Parkers.
She broke in this man's house. She has groped this man publicly. If you really want to be sensitive about it, she has literally forced herself on this man. Like, and he was visibly like, no, this is not what I want. Is that not rape culture?
It is. I mean, it is.
So I'm
and
like,
we laughed at it, and it's kind of like we laughed at it. It was comedy for us. Now that is this considered woke? Or like, is this conversation like a woke you know what I mean? Like, is this a woke conversation? So now that we're discussing it and we're older now, because we grew up on watching that show, it was funny. You know, it was funny, like her chasing him around the table and sneaking in his bedroom at night, and him waking up and she already cooked breakfast, you know, and we just like, oh, she's so crazy. Now it's like, oh no, that was too much. It's rape culture. It really is.
And that's just what I don't understand about it. I mean, like I said, some of it I get when it comes to cancellation, but like, you know, it's starting to go too far now to me. You know what I'm saying? I happen to love Pepe Le Pew as a character. It's probably the reason why I feel the way I feel. But I'm like, come on, bro. Like, seriously, like, the man just wanted to love the cat. Like, you really. So it
was a cat. I knew it was a freaking cat.
It was a cat.
He just thought it was like a skunk. He thought
the cat was black and white.
Right. Okay.
So that's the reason why he thought that it was another skunk. And if I'm not mistaken, the cat was even a boy. If I'm not mistaken, he just thought I don't even think the cat was a girl. I don't think. I could be wrong.
I gotta watch an episode.
Like, and then I also made me one episode.
Yeah, I need to watch an episode. And then also, like, Helga. I think we kind of discussed Helga one time up here about how, you know, aggressive she was. Well, she was a bully to like Arnold.
Well,
you know, on hey,
like,
on
That
you.
was normal though. That was
yeah, I
normal.
was
And the
about to
reason why I
say
say that
some
was normal
stuff
because I
is
got
like,
bullied by girls that claimed they had a crush on me in the future and was like, I only was mean to you because I like to.
yeah.
And
Because
I'm
I
like,
feel
that's
like if you're gonna
backwards.
dissect things, like you're really gonna have to dissect everything. Like, but
Everything.
I mean, some things is just a part of like growing up. Like some kids don't know how to express I like you or I want to play with you or I want us to go to the park together. Like, I mean, of course, I feel like they learned that from some place, like But at the same time, like some things are just a part of you growing and learning more about how to do things and how to handle certain things. So I feel like if you dissect everything that's been portrayed either like on TV or in movies or shows, like we really gonna have to cancel everything,
Everything. We're gonna have
because
to, you know what? We're gonna have to
people
hit
are
the
gonna be
restart
offended.
button. We're
People
gonna
are
have
gonna
to
be offended by anything. Like, so it's like I feel like people can take somebody flirting and saying, "Oh, putting it in rape culture." You know what I mean? Like, people can really like take a situation where it's just like somebody showing they're persistent and trying to get to know this person, or whatever, they're being flirtatious. Because I feel like even now it's just like even it's almost kind of like people don't really know how to show like be flirtatious, because if you're like, when does it cross the line of flirtatious? Like, because people like to flirt with each other, like they flirt, like that's the thing, but it's like, where does it go from
draw the line.
flirtation to sexual harassment? You know what I mean? Like, so it's those things where it's just kind of like you gotta figure out like what it is and what it ain't. So it's just like I feel like
It
somewhere
always
down the line
depends on the person, man.
yeah, somebody is always gonna be like offended about something.
I tell you this right here, you make so much sense because I think we are gonna have to like hit the reset button and start over and unlearn what we thought we knew with this new society and new everything. Like going on a date, right? Um, Dates at the end of the night, if you had a good time, spontaneously, kisses are supposed to be like a magical moment, right? Like it's like a vibe of energy. Like if it happens, it happens. If
Right.
you want to lean in and get a hug, or you want to lean in and get a kiss. Like now it's to the fact where you be like, is it okay if I kiss you? And you be like, did this just ruin the moment?
Yeah,
Like do you
that's
something?
crazy you said that, Ashley, because I was just thinking about that the other day. It's just like I feel, and I was just thinking like from the perspective of a guy,
Right,
like
right.
not saying that things like, of course, like with sexual harassment and rape culture, like those things are real, and women have been dealing with that at a young age.
Mm-hmm.
As far as like sexual harassment, but I kind of feel bad for guys because I feel like they always are gonna feel like they have to ask for permission for everything.
Every
To
It's kind
do
of like
everything.
anything.
almost
That's
it's kind of
literally
like
how I feel as a man. It's
yeah,
literally how I feel. Like
yeah,
I
and like
literally
Ashley
went on a
said,
oh go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
no, and I was like Ashley said, like it's supposed to be like it kind of takes away from being spontaneous and letting the
Mm-hmm.
spark like naturally happen, because you're always thinking like, is it okay? Like, it's kind of weird. Like, is it okay if I kiss you? It doesn't normally happen that way. Like, people will say, oh, you better ask for consent for, like, if when
Yeah.
you're adults, and it doesn't happen that way. Like, you're not, every little single move you make, you're not gonna ask the person, is it
No.
okay if I put my hand here? Is it okay if I kiss you? Is it okay? Like, now, I can say maybe not the whole kiss you part, because I feel like, if the vibe ain't right and you just go in there like, that's you just setting yourself up for disaster. Like, certain things I can understand, but if all of your moves have to be calculated, I feel like guys kind of feel like pressured about that. And like Daniel said, like he already expressed, like that's stuff
Bro,
that he has.
I literally went on a date and this was a couple months ago. Literally went on a date and it was like to the point where because of that, I almost didn't want to. It almost felt like I was seeming disinterested because I was afraid to even not afraid, but I was nervous about doing or saying anything. You know what I'm saying? As far as physical or stuff. So I literally did what you asked. As I said, can I kiss you? Is that okay? Because like I felt like you know what I'm saying? I felt like if I would have leaned in, and the last thing I want is for anybody to feel uncomfortable. That's my
Right,
point.
right.
You know what I'm saying? So like I asked because I didn't want nobody to feel uncomfortable. I didn't want her to feel uncomfortable. Because the problem is a lot of times a man will lean in or whatever, and the girl don't want to kiss him, but she don't want to seem like a B word, or she doesn't want to seem like an a-hole, so she kisses him back. And then it's like, oh, I'm good now, like, you know, we can make some moves, and it's like, okay, chill, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that's how that's what, just, I don't want nobody to feel uncomfortable. So in today's society, you can barely say anything without somebody, like Whitney said, without somebody feeling uncomfortable, being offended. So that just, it just, for me, it just brings my anxiety up when it comes to talking to the fair sex, because it's like, I don't even know what to do anymore. You know what I'm saying? You gotta initiate it. You want to hump, you gotta initiate it. I ain't even gonna ask you. You know what I'm saying?
I tell you one thing pertaining to that, like, I jokingly said it, but I was serious also at the same time. Like, I don't know what's up with guys and foot fetishes. Maybe I'm just getting hip to it, you know, about guys and feet. But yeah, it is. Oh, yeah. It most definitely is. Because I told one guy, I jokingly said it, but I was for real. I was like, I didn't give you permission to touch my feet. Like, I didn't, you know, because so many guys, like, now it is so weird. Like, you know how when you meet somebody, they're like, oh, send me, you know, a picture from my phone. Like, so when you call, you know, your picture pop up.
Put a picture, yeah.
Now they asking for feet pictures too. And I'm like, who does that?
That's a little far.
Yeah, but it's a real thing. Like, people are really asking for feet pictures.
Don't get me wrong. I love me some pretty feet. I love me some pretty feet. I enjoy giving foot massages on pretty feet. You know what I'm saying?
He's stressing that.
Because the thing, because like some people, they have foot fetishes to the point where it don't matter what your foot look like.
Fuck that.
Like, for me, no, like, if it's terrible, I ain't touching your feet. But I do enjoy some pretty feet and some like stiletto heels or something like that. That's definitely a beautiful sight.
I tell you one thing about the cancel culture. You know, when those surviving R. Kelly documentaries that came out, I was happy to kind of like know more knowledge about it, because I remember a long time ago I was like, I ain't listen. Like, I don't even listen to R. Kelly. Like, period. And like when it comes on like my Pandora station or something, like, I always like skip it or whatever. But now it doesn't play it because I done disliked it so many times. This is what I'm struggling with. And I don't struggle. And it kind of goes back to what Whitney was saying earlier about sometimes it's so big, and then sometimes who do you cancel, or the next day. So when it came out that Lil Boosie paid an adult woman to give his son oral sex, he was 14 at the time, and she was clearly over 18. Right. So that is some rape culture shit. And so they was like, so are we canceling Boosie now? And he should have been incarcerated, like locked up. You know what I'm saying? So I was just like, I guess people do have favoritism.
It's gotta be, man. It's gotta be that.
And I mean, if you kind of look at it too, like if you look at Michael Jackson, you know, I feel like, I mean, not necessarily comparing the two, but kind of comparing the two. Michael Jackson and, you know, the allegations against him with sleeping with young boys. And to this day, when people talk about Michael Jackson, they're talking about Michael Jackson being the greatest. They're talking about him as an artist. Even though people in our community are very aware of the allegations against him and what transpired, or what people have alleged transpired at Neverland, or whatever the case may be. It's just like, Michael is one of those artists that's on the top level. Like, you're not going to hear people try to cancel Michael Jackson because he's the greatest artist, he's the greatest musician, he's the greatest whatever. But I mean, not saying that R. Kelly is not on the level, because I definitely believe as an artist, R. Kelly is that guy. He's very talented, but it's easier to cancel somebody like that. And it's just like, he had the same, I mean,
and,
same, you know, reputation. I mean? Yeah, and so it's just like, what stops people from saying cancel Michael versus cancel R. Kelly? Like,
I mean, and it's funny. It's funny because the same people that wanted to cancel, say, R. Kelly, or they probably even felt some type of way about Michael, are the same ones that voted for a president that's been claiming to grab a woman by her private part.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or who still has outstanding sexual allegations against him right now. You know what I'm saying? So like, I think it's just like you said, it's just the favoritism. Like, okay, well, we can go without pay-per-view But let Bugs Bunny have rape culture. Everybody gonna be like, no, we can't cancel him. You know what I'm saying? As an example. It's just favoritism, man.
Yeah, it really
I think they would let Bugs Bunny go. I think
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, like
they would let him slide.
Maybe
if he was
Barney, Dora the Explorer, like let's say she was molesting that monkey, like it. That monkey could come out. That monkey could come tell his story. Like that's what I'm saying. Like, if we want to, like, if they're going to cancel that, then let's say the monkey comes out and be like, you know, but behind the scenes, like,
it's just certain people, like, they'll let it go. Like, it just depends on your level of fame and your level that you put yourself on. If people are gonna, there's, like I said, there's no canceling people that are at a certain level. Like, you can't cancel Beyonce. Like, how you gonna cancel Beyonce?
Absolutely.
You ain't gonna cancel Michael Jackson. I mean, even though he's no longer here, how you gonna cancel Michael Jackson?
Absolutely.
And that's kind of sort of too. I mean, I don't know. It might be kind of twofold with Kobe about the whole rape allegations and stuff like that. Like, I mean, it happened or it didn't happen or whatever the case may be. Like, nobody is canceling Kobe. Like, Kobe's not canceled. He's as much essential to the organization and culture now as he was then. You know what I mean? So it's just like, even though, and it's crazy because, like, we know those things happen. It's just like, even at some point they were just allegations or they were, you know, thrown out or whatever the case may be. It's just like people are still going to hold on to what they believe is true. They believe this happened, they're going to hold it there. Or they didn't believe it, you know.
My thing is, like, and I just thought about it as you were saying that, Whitney. I don't get the cartoon characters just for the simple fact that if you're going to cancel anybody, why not cancel the writers? Why not cancel the creators? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a cartoon. And the only reason why I thought about that is because, like, okay, there's literally, don't get me wrong, I love Family Guy. I watch Family Guy religiously. But the thing is, like, you literally have a sex addict who borderline roofies women. And then you have the old man that's still been trying to get the little boys. You know what I'm saying? Why isn't Seth MacFarlane canceled?
That's what I was gonna say. When you first said that, I was like, is canceling the creator or the writer, is that taking it a little too far as well? Because now that's going to prevent people from thinking. But then also at the same time, you got to kind of deep dive into that to be like, what's going on? Let's open up an investigation about this guy anyway. Because why is he writing these sick, twisted characters?
Because I'm like, and it's not just Seth MacFarlane. I mean, he created it, but it's the writers, period. You know what I'm saying? There's a whole team. There's like a team of like 25 people that write for Family Guy.
Right. So who comes sit down to the writers table and say, all right, let's come up with, okay, we want a pervert, we want a racist, we want an Indian, like who? But I understand that these, you know what, these people do exist. So these people do exist in real life.
I just don't understand.
You can read the news and come up with something. My thing is like, it's just so, because I don't want creators to stop creating. I don't want creators to stop with the content.
Me neither.
Like comedians and things like that, because I know I draw a lot of things from not necessarily me personally, but I'll put a little sprinkle whatever on it. Like when I scroll on my timeline, I see somebody say something, I'll be like, and then I'll post a status or whatever, but I add a little extra to it. So I don't want to like penalize creators for creating things, you know. I don't know. It's a lot. It's a lot.
Like, it's a cartoon. Like, it's not like, I can understand if this was a reality show or this was something like real and a person already had that persona or already was like that character. But like Daniel said, these are literally characters that they created. Like, even if it was a person, let's say if it was a racist character, like that was known in a show or in a cartoon, like you could literally rewrite the new script and make him not racist anymore or make her not racist anymore. Like, that's all on you. Like, you control what we see as far as the content. So I mean,
even in the same sense as what you're saying, like what also bothers me is like, okay, this is kind of different, but it's in the same principle. A lot of people are mad at Cardi B for the music that she makes. Okay. And Cardi B was interviewed and she was talking about that. And she said, she made a very good point. She said, I don't make music for children.
Yep.
I make music for adults. And it's the same people that are mad at Cardi B that's probably mad about Pepe Le Pew And I'm just like, okay, if you feel uncomfortable, my father did not let me or my brother watch anything that he deemed uncomfortable for us. Right. So that's the reason why we were ignorant to those certain things until we got older. You know what I'm saying? It's not always, this is life. This is things that have rape culture happens in real life. Things like that have perverts are out there in real life talking about Quagmire. This is real life. So people trying to write what they see, it's not necessarily their fault for writing this. You know what I'm saying? Like, of course, Family Guy makes a joke out of it, but like, I'm thinking like, say for instance, SVU, one of my favorite shows, Law and Order. It's based on real events, but it would be difficult for somebody who has dealt with, like, who was a spectral victim to see something like that. They might see an episode that pertains to their life. Right. So now, if they're offended by that and they raise Cain about it, now they got to be canceled because that happened to you. Just don't watch it.
Turn it off.
Turn to the channel. Put parental controls on your kids' TV. Put parental controls on your kids' phones. You get what I'm saying? Everybody shouldn't be canceled for being we grown. That's just how I feel.
For doing your job, like
right.
Like you suck as a mom and a dad, and they be like, "How dare you?" You know, like start taking control. Like start having your children overrule you. Like that's like honestly, I get anxiety when I see kids with phones and tablets and stuff. I'm like, why do y'all give y'all kids these devices? I understand for educational purposes, but when you just giving it to them and then you walking away, I know it's just more of a go ahead and go do something with yourself. You like, so why mommy over here doing this or whatever? But I just be so nervous because I've been around where it's real, like sexual stuff with kids and people that know y'all, like family, and know the family, friends of the family. That shit is real. Like they go home and Facebook your little cousin or your sister, like it's just I can't do it. Like, so I feel like if y'all are gonna give y'all kids these electronic devices, monitor them shits.
Like, and it's too easy not to. Like, there's literally apps out there that you can monitor what they have on their phones on your phone. You don't even need to see their phone. You don't need to bring their phone up. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's ways. I just don't feel like, you know, to me, what I just thought about just makes cancel culture, some cancel culture, when it comes to film and television and cartoons, invalid. Because you're mad about something.
Everything. Like, just because something is not going your way or stuff is not beat to your own drum, like you're not the only person in the world with the one view. Everybody doesn't have that one view that you have or feel the exact same way as you. So you can't expect TV and whatever to like only show what
G-rated stuff.
Yeah, like what you believe. Because I mean, everybody's watching TV. You got toddlers watching TV. You got teenagers watching TV. You got adults watching TV. You got senior citizens watching TV. People who are disabled watching TV. People who are pedophiles that's watching TV. Like you got, not saying that TV should be catered to everybody, but I'm just saying like there's so many like dynamics of people. Like it's bound where you're gonna have those instances where you have those shows that, you know, took something and maybe made it into something that was comedy, but
everybody has a target audience.
Yeah,
every show has a target audience.
What was funny to you may not be funny to me, but the people that I'm trying to draw in, they're gonna think this is comedy. The people that I want to look at my show or listen to my music, they're gonna like this. Like even the example you mentioned about Cardi B when she said she doesn't make music for children. That's another thing where she said like you know, the music that I make is music that people want to listen to. Yeah, y'all are telling me y'all want me to make songs where I'm talking about uplifting women and doing all of these things. And every now and then you will hear artists play around with that. They'll drop something out there, and you know what happens? It doesn't get any pull to it. Nobody want to listen to that. That doesn't take off. But let an artist say something about like some sexually explicit things or whatever the case may be. That's the stuff that's gonna take off. So as an artist, you want me to make music
it sells.
That people are not gonna listen to.
Sells, right?
Yeah.
Why do you think conscious rappers and conscious artists, they're not as big as mainstream artists? Like you got the J. Cole's in the well, he's kind of an exception, but or the Kendrick's kind of an exception. But there's other conscious, there's other conscious rappers. Oh my God, rappers. That they're fire. They're so fire, but they're not talking about, you know, calling women all these B words and shaking booty and all of this. They're actually talking about something, but they're not
Yeah.
buzzing. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I got
And
into a very long
the people
conversation.
that say they want that, the people that they say they want artists to not talk about that and they want people to be more uplifting. It's so many artists out there that are like that, but they don't
Yeah,
support that. You want to say
no.
so much about Cardi B and what she's doing when there's so many other artists, and even when Cardi B, when everybody was coming at her, she literally went on her Instagram and was like, you know, if y'all don't like the music that I'm making, like follow these dope artists
Yep.
who are
Yep.
conscious and are
Right.
talking about things. She named like a lot of dope artists like Tierra Whack, Rhapsody, a whole bunch of artists. She's like, okay, if y'all don't really like what I'm talking about and it's too explicit for y'all, follow these other artists. But nobody is following them. They always
And the
want
funny
to
thing is, you want to support somebody, but you still you won't realize that talking about Cardi B in a negative way is still getting her paid.
Mm-hmm.
Because the simple fact is, if I never heard Cardi B's music and say Whitney didn't appreciate it, you listen to it. That's a stream. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? So let 50 million people not like her music. They don't like her music because they listen to her music.
Mm-hmm.
And now you
And
going
even if
on
not,
live and like, oh my gosh, I can't with Cardi B and her nastiness.
mm-hmm.
Okay, now I'm gonna want to go see what Cardi B talking about.
Because
Yeah.
that's free
Yep.
marketing.
Yep.
You
That's
know,
free
Yep.
marketing and free publicity. Like you promoting her.
bad
Like although
publicity is
you're saying
good
that you don't like
publicity.
her stuff, it's still making people like, okay, well, who is this Cardi B person? Why people don't like her? Is her
Right.
music that bad? Let me see what's going on. So it's like that's when it's kind of like, you know, all publicity is good publicity in the sense that either way, if you're talking about me for the good or for the bad, you're still making people pay attention to me. You know,
I,
so it's up to them if they think it's for good or for bad, but you're still making people pay attention to them by still voicing like, oh, this person music is so bad. Like you put all that energy in saying why somebody is so bad. If you really want to support somebody that's not talking about that, support them. Get the
Right.
artists that you
absolutely.
want, promote them and talk about them on social media and the good albums they have or good singles and stuff like that. But people are not going to do that because, again, like Cardi B said, that's not what people want. Like
It's
they
not what
want
people want.
explicit stuff.
There's so
Right.
many dope artists out there, man, that still live in shabby apartments and ain't being taken care of. And you know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? It's just a simple fact of like, dude, like if that's what you want, just go listen to them. You
Yep.
know what I'm saying? And I understand mainstream is mainstream. They're gonna get to you first.
Right.
But like me, who happens to love conscious music, I went and I dug for it. I went and I looked for it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's plenty of ways to do
Do
that
you listen to
instead of,
Chika?
yes, I love chicken.
Oh my gosh, she is Grammy
Yes.
nominated. Like, oh my gosh, that's my
The
girl.
Grammys
Like,
tonight, ain't it?
Yeah.
I think so.
It's going
Yeah.
on right now. Yeah, she is dope. I literally just, and I know we getting off on a tangent. I literally just found out about y'all need to go and listen to Dinner Party by Robert. I can't pronounce his last name, like Robert Glassman or something like that.
Hmm.
Let me tell you something. These niggas,
Dinner
excuse my
party.
language.
Yeah.
It is, that music is so
That's a
fire.
group.
It's a yeah, it's like a group of four. Like I don't know if
Oh,
y'all can. Oh, y'all ain't gonna be able to see it. But
right.
like literally, like these dudes are so dope, and you'll never hear about them because they're not mainstream.
Yeah, but
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
artists like Chika, like I really like tapped in with
Chica
her
is dope.
because
She is
yeah, she
dope,
is really
Hold
man.
up.
dope.
Dinner, Dinner party.
Like yes, we're going to a dinner party.
That's the name of the group.
I think that might be the name of
Oh,
the album.
yeah, that's the name of the album. Okay.
Yeah. But my favorite, because they have two. They have Dinner Party and then they have Dinner Party Dessert, which is the exact same songs, but it's featuring artists.
Okay. I
But
most
you just
I
gotta
just
check it out, man.
I
It's
just put it on
so
my
dope.
watch list. The watch later.
It's
All right,
so
so
dope.
let's wrap up that one. So the question was, should cartoon characters be canceled? I think we all agree no. And
No, stop being
we have
sensitive.
an issue
Rewrite the
with
script. That's all you got to do is rewrite the
yeah,
script.
we have an issue with cancel culture, period. I think to narrow it down basically individually, because canceling somebody is messing with their livelihood. So therefore, you don't have to start a petition or go on a tangent about it, or like what Daniel was saying, once you start talking about it publicly, you're actually putting more revenue in their pockets.
Bad
So
publicity is
so
good
do your
publicity.
part. I can say
Telling you.
this, do your part individually, because certain things that I don't like or support, I always say, I ain't clicking on that shit. Like that's my thought process. I'm not clicking on that shit. So That's how we feel about it.
It's just like going to a restaurant you don't like. Don't go to the restaurant. Don't give them your money.
Or even if you do go to the restaurant, you be like, I'm not ordering that. I already had it. I don't like it. You know.
Right.
So topic number 4, I saw this meme being passed around, which is which bougie stage are you currently in life? Where you spend money with no hesitation. I think the options were, and you don't necessarily have to go with this option, but it was like, are you travel bougie? Are you food bougie? I saw somebody reading comments. They was like, "Oh, I'm interior design bougie." Basically, where you're an adult and you have no problem spending money on certain things. Like you don't even look at the price and you like, I want it. So it could be clothes, it could be shoes, it could be hair. What level of bougie are y'all in y'all life? Me personally, I'm business bougie. Like other stuff I cut back on. I'm like, oh no, I'm not doing it. Like, but I will spend hundreds and thousands of dollars on certain equipment with, now I ain't gonna say with no hesitation, because I'm still trying to find like the best deal. Cause like right now, like I'm supposed to be going out of town. And so I was looking for like decent hotels. I don't want no bed bug roach hotels, but I'm like, it gotta be so I don't want to spend this type of money. But yeah, I was looking for a deal with that. But when I was trying to find a hot box for my business, I was like, oh, 300. 2 of those. And I wouldn't know him. I was like, let me get 2 of those. And I'm like, why I do stuff like that? Like, but I think it's because like I can make money off of it versus like me just going out of town for a couple of days. You know, I'm like, I still got to come back home and live a life, you know?
Right.
So I don't try not to go too crazy with out of town stuff or, you know, vacations and stuff like that. Because I have to always come back home and still got bills to pay, you know?
Yeah. I don't feel like I'm bougie about like any particular thing. Like I feel like I'm very simple person. Like I don't feel like there's something that I just like no
Have to
matter like
have.
what it costs or like whatever, like okay, if it's a trip, like I'm gonna like book the best hotels or the
Right,
best
right.
like stuff like that. I don't feel like there's anything that I'm like super crazy over, like that I'm like quote unquote like bougie about. Like I feel like I'm very minimalistic. Like I'm not, that type of person. So I can't even think of anything that I'd be like bougie about.
You may not feel that way, but ask people around you. They'll tell you, because I'm gonna ask people around. I'm like, what do you think I'm bougie about? Because I feel like that as well. I feel like I'm like simple and southern. I always describe myself as simple and southern. I'm like, I don't need this, I don't need that. I'm not, simple,
Yeah.
southern, and sassy. That's my 3 S's: simple, southern, and
Mhm.
sassy. But ask people, be like, what am I bougie
I'm gonna
about?
ask them. I'm gonna ask
And then
people what
and then when they tell you, you're probably gonna be like, no, I'm not. They're gonna be like, yes, you are. And then they'll tell you why,
Yeah.
What about you, Daniel? Like, what are you
Food.
like? I'm sorry, what?
Food.
Food. Okay. Am I bougie about food?
So this is the reason why. So okay, I'll give you 3 different scenarios.
Okay.
I will go, if I'm going to a restaurant, I'm gonna get the steak. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not even gonna look at
the price.
If I see sirloin, T-bone, ribeye, anything, it's like I'll take that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then the same thing is, one of the things about me is when I go shopping, I'll bargain shop on certain things. I can get the great value brand on certain things,
right,
but not on everything.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's just me being a cook, there's just certain things that I don't want touching my palate. And sometimes like that lower tier stuff just don't work. You know what I'm saying?
Because I didn't know you was a cook.
Oh yeah, that's a small passion of mine. I have aspirations of having a restaurant.
Okay.
And I'ma steal all Ashley's recipes.
See you in court.
No, but
Daniel's yummy tummy.
it's gonna be Daniel's yummy tummy after a while. No, I'm playing. But nah, it's just that. Like, I'm not gonna skip out on food. And there's been times, right. I hate to say this, I really hate to say this, but there's been times like I'll be on like when I was in college, I'll be on my last $10. And I could go to McDonald's and just spend 4 of that and be good. But now I'm still gonna go to KFC or I'm still gonna go to Bojangles and spend the whole $9.99 on a 4-piece. Just because, you know what I'm saying? Like you know,
struggle with that. Like, you know, and
I
it's so
struggle with that.
and it's probably crazy because I cook too. And then people probably be like, oh, I'm like, I'm frugal with stuff. Like, because when you said about the restaurant, while you're like, let's say we're all three there. So we know Whitney's doing vegan, you're going for the steak. I'm asking, what y'all got on sale? What's y'all special? Like, that's me. I'm like, what y'all got? What's y'all special? You know? And I'm just like, ugh, like, but I do treat myself out sometimes. Like over the weekend, I just went to Surfside Beach. I went to a barbecue competition. And so I was like, oh, what am I? I was like, let me take $20. And I was like, no, I'm gonna do more than 20. Because I know I want to go to vendors and see like what's new stuff out there. And I knew by going to a barbecue competition, I knew that they would probably be selling their sauces. I'm a sauce girl. I love a barbecue sauce. And so I was like, so I upped it. Like my budget was $50. And then I don't even know where I'm at with it because I started swiping my cards. So I probably over the damn $50.
Oh,
right. So
that's what I was saying. I don't even look at, I just can't. You know what I'm saying? And the other thing for me is, and I just thought about it, I don't do it often, but whenever I'm going to, and I plan to have fun, like say we're going to say Dave and Buster's, say we're going to like an amusement park or something like that. When it comes to fun, I don't skip out on that either. I mean, I'm gonna spend the money. Now I'm not gonna go out there and spend hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Right.
But like if I know I don't do it often, you see where I'm at. I'm always at home. You know what I'm saying?
And,
so
and that's why I got out this weekend, because I was like, I don't be doing shit.
Yeah.
That's something I need to do better with. Like, I feel like when you said ask people around me, people around me will probably say I'm like, I need to be bougie about stuff, or I need to have stuff where I kind of like, this is my thing. Like, I'm not compromising. Like how you say, like, I want good food, so I'm not compromising good food wherever I go. Like, I feel like I'm too
reserved.
Yeah, I feel like I'm too
I've been
reserved.
told that. My
Yeah,
cousin
I feel
told me
like
that.
I'm too reserved, and I need to like have those things where I'm
just
just
let
like,
loose once in a while.
yeah, like because even when it comes like just some of the things that y'all are mentioning, like even when Daniel mentioned about like if you're going somewhere place for fun, like you just want to have fun, like you don't want to worry about, oh, I don't want to spend this much money, or I got to cut back, or I can't do this particular thing because I don't want to spend too much money. Like I wish I could be
Yeah.
one of those people that didn't think about stuff, but I feel like everything that I do somehow is calculated and it got to be in the plan for like I can't just be like, oh, I just want to have fun when I go to Mexico. Let me just have fun. I don't want to worry about looking at my account. I just want to. I can't do that. I can't
I'm
just.
still bad about that. Don't get me wrong.
See,
I'm
that's
still
the
bad
thing,
about
Whitney.
that.
Yeah, that's the thing, Whitney. I'm like you, but Daniel as well. So while I'm there, I'm not thinking about, I take care of that before I go. So I'm the $300. That's it. So
Yeah.
are you saying you don't even think about it even before you go, or you don't have a budget, period? Are you just,
Is that what I mean?
no, Whitney. So like you don't do it at all? Like you don't say, okay, I'm just only gonna do 3, or I'm gonna do $200.
Yeah, I do that, but I'm just saying, like, I wish cause every so often, I mean, there's nothing wrong with just saying, like, okay, I'm going on this trip, I'm gonna budget $300, $400 for me to just spend. If whatever I can do with that
Right.
$400, that's what I do. But I feel like it's a different feeling when you just kind of like spontaneously do things, like you know, not necessarily like a big trip, but like let's say you go to Atlanta or something, and you just want to have a good time. Like you was going to Atlanta, you was gonna go to a couple things, but certain things come up. The people
Right.
that you would want to do something else, and it's just like, well, forget it. Let's just do this. Let's just go and spend this. Let's just go and do that. Like, I'm not that type of person. I'm just like, oh, nope, that wasn't in the plan. I don't know about that. Now, how much you say it's gonna
Yeah.
cost? So I got to budget another $50. Now, what restaurant? How much that is? Like, I'm that
Yeah.
type of person. And my sister, like, she kind of hates that sometimes about me because I'll be asking like, how much was that? Even if I have the money, it's just like
Right.
it's just a thing. Like, I want to know. Like, I'll be
That's
asking, how much was that? She was
I
like, you
used to
don't
be
have to ask
like
about
that.
the price.
I
I'm
used to be
still
like that.
I had to break myself out of that.
Yeah.
I really had to break myself out of that
Yep.
because it was to the point where there was times where I would make a lot of money, say for instance, I would get my income tax back or something like that. And like literally, this is really bad. I wanted to buy a $20 griddle. And I sat there and stood there and stared at that griddle for 15 minutes. I put the griddle in my shopping cart. My mom was with me. You can ask her. I put the griddle in my shop. They took it out. I was like, nah, I don't need that right now. I don't need that. And she was like, do you want the griddle or not?
Or not.
Like, if I gotta pay for it, I will. Like, she was getting mad, and my mom's more frugal than me. Like, and she's worse than me. And it was just like, bro, like, sometimes if there's things that you want, get it. Worry about the consequences later.
But it's a griddle. Like, it's not like you're not gonna use it or yeah. I used to be an impulsive buyer. Hence, I got a shed of shit. But
why do I believe that? Like,
no, seriously, because I would justify why I would need it. I'd be like, oh, because I can ain't nowhere near. Like, say your griddle, I'd be like, oh, because if I get the griddle, then I can do like pancakes on one side, on this side, and then I'm not even ready to do pancakes and sausage yet. But I'd be like, but I need it.
But I need it for the 10 years down the road.
Yeah, and so I'm like, bro, I'm almost a hoarder a little bit. I'm a clean hoarder, like it's just they're still in boxes.
Everything is in its place.
So that's how come out. You see me posting shit. I'm like, I don't even use this. I don't even need it.
Things like that. Like even like that example Dan used, like I know like I can go and buy something that I need or that I want, but it's just like I put so much thought. Like, do I really need that? Can I go somewhere and get it cheaper? Should I just get it now? Maybe I'll just wait till another time. But it's like you can get it now. Like just do it. Or like you want to go someplace, or you want to go to a restaurant, or you want to try something. It's just like you are able to do it now. Like why not just go ahead and do it? Like stop trying to plan it all the time and stop trying to. And when everything lines up, then I'll do it. Like which I've gotten a lot better with. I used to be like so cheap and so like more reserved than I am now. But slowly, I'm like starting to come out of that because you just want to be able to enjoy yourself. You don't want to have to think about every move that you make and every.
And that's just it. That's just it. Because I'm just like this, and people say it all the time, and I never took it into consideration until I turned like 26, and they're like. You can't take it with you. If you walk outside and drop dead, like you can't take that money with you. Of course, you can have beneficiaries, but you still can't enjoy that money. I'm not saying be broke. To anybody watching this, I'm not saying go out there and spend your rent money on some shoes. That's not what I'm saying.
Let's be clear.
Let's be clear. I don't need nobody in my inbox talking about I was listening to you. You told me to do it. No, I'm just saying if you have it. You know what I'm saying? And like your pay, say you get paid next week and you want to make a big purchase now and it's not going to hit you like that quick. You know what I'm saying?
Right. You got to enjoy yourself. Like you got to live life. And for sure, two things. My cousins told me that when you was talking about being the reserve stuff, my cousins, they stopped inviting me places because they be like, for what? You ain't going to come. You ain't going to do it. Like, and so I was, and they be like, I know you got money because I done been there with you. I know you got money. I'm like, honestly, I just have a fear. I was talking to my cousin about this the other day. He kind of almost, I love you. But he was like, I was like, I have a fear of being like homeless or broke and stuff like that. He was like, as long as I'm living, you will never be homeless or whatever. I was like, okay, but that still don't mean I'm going to be out here frivolously, spending and stuff. Because when you move in with people, like couch-wise or in the other extra bedroom, like sometimes that shit ruin relationships or friendships or family stuff. Like if you overstay your welcome or whatever. But yeah, I'm learning to love myself, not so low self-esteem type shit, but just like what they say, enjoy the fruits of your labor, So that's how come like I'm taking myself on a little trip. I just went to something simple stuff. It ain't gotta be like overnight stuff. Like when I went to Surfside Beach this weekend, that was for me. Cause like you said, we've been sitting in the house, ain't been doing shit. I just been working, stuff behind the scenes. And then also I know I'm about to be super busy in a couple months where I'm not even gonna have time for to enjoy the sun being out or feeling the beach water or stuff like I'm not gonna have time. So I think it's important. But that's where I'm bougie at, like business stuff, But yeah, Whitney, I suggest you ask, so people can say. And if another thing, with what Danielle said, you're not gonna be able to take it with you. And with COVID happening last year, like a lot of people passing last year, that's what made me be like, you know what? Fuck it, I'm doing my food truck because I don't want to go to heaven and be like. Damn, I ain't never even, I don't want that feeling. So either it's going to be successful or I'm going to feel it, but I know I'm going to be successful at it. But at least I tried. I attempted to do it,
And that's all it is. You know what I'm saying? And you got to, why work so hard to not be able to do what, like, get something you really want and that you actually work hard for? Tired of killing myself for rent money and light money. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially if I have something to be able to like, and like I said, I ain't no, bougie dude, but like, it's a simple fact. If I have the money to go to a restaurant, I'm gonna get what I want. I'm not gonna get what I can afford. I mean, I'm still gonna get what I can afford, but what my mind is telling me that I can afford to keep the extra, $20 in my account. No, good. We'll figure that out.
We'll figure it out. I mean, if the lights get cut off, we'll just call them until we get this.
Like I said, I'm not saying go do that. First of all, if you got responsibilities, be responsible, please. God help us.
Well, all right. So let's go to the final topic. So it's a good thing, Daniel mentioned that you can't take it with you. So we're gonna go into the cremation or burial. I don't know. We was talking about when Ken had came on that night, we was talking about like the participation trophies and stuff like that. And I was talking about a scenario about, the married guy. He's still legally married, but got a girlfriend, and a family member passed. Should he take her to the funeral? So we started talking about burial and cremation, and Cortney was supposed to be up here for this one, so I didn't know she's getting off early tonight, you guys. Okay, so have you thought about that, like the burial or the cremation?
Yeah, I actually started thinking about it like more like I'd say like over the past like 2 years or so. Like I was just thinking to myself, I'm like, do I really want like a funeral and a burial, or do I just want to be cremated? Like
Well,
I
you
feel
can
like
still have like the people gather, even if you're
yeah.
gonna get like, because you can still, because my mom wanted to be cremated, but I disrespected her wishes. And so when they was doing the cremation process, they was like, you can still put them in the casket. You can still people can still come see them. Because most of the time with cremation, they just have like a big blow up picture of the person. They don't actually have the body there,
Right, yeah.
But you can still do it. You do it any way you want to, but it's just ain't no at the burial grounds. It's just they bring you the ashes. If it, you can still
Yeah,
have the
right.
body there in the service and stuff, but after that, ain't no going to the burial grounds. It's just go
Yeah,
back to
I
the
don't
house.
think I'm like as opposed to it as maybe I like may have been before. Like I'm not super opposed to it. Like I'm actually like thinking more about it. Not that I can say for like definitely like okay, I want to be cremated, but like now I'm starting to like think about it more. Like, do I like? I mean, do I need to be buried? Like, I don't know.
What they see, this was my thing, and people was looking at me weird, but I said that I have wanted to be cremated, and the reason why was because I said that people don't go to burial grounds like that no more. Like young people like us, I don't think we go to burial grounds. I think it's the older people that go, like to
Yeah.
put flowers or when they come home. Like the only time people really go to burial grounds is like if they, and people don't stay in their hometown anymore. They move, go with their husband or their wife and out of state and stuff like that. And I was like, I just rather be cremated, put me in some jewelry, like put my picture in a locket on one side and my ashes on the other. And then I'm there. I'm with you all the time. You don't have to come all the way back to Marion to the visit or put flowers on my grave, So that's how I was looking at it. Not looking at the price of it, but just looking at like being there per se.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
I just think I know everybody has their wishes, their last wishes and things of that nature. For me, it's more so it just depends on what my family has, whether they can afford it or not. Some people die without life insurance, things of that nature. It's obviously cheaper to cremate rather than a burial. So it's like if we can afford it, I would say on my will, like you can afford it, yeah, go ahead. But I can't really say what I'd rather have because I'm no longer here.
Well,
like
that's the thing though. Like you said, what they can afford, it's on you. Like right now, I'm pretty sure your mom has a policy on you that's probably already done paid up, possibly depending on when she got it for you. Mm-hmm. But having life insurance is on you. Like you're supposed to
right.
So you can write out, like I just learned that you can go ahead and go to the local funeral places around here and go ahead and pre-do your things, because that's what I'm struggling. I'm like, do I still want to be cremated or do I want to be buried? Like, and then you can make payment plans on it. So as far as like GoFundMe or whatever funds available, you can like go tomorrow or schedule an appointment starting Monday or whenever and plan your whole funeral while you're here now.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, exactly. I just found it out like a couple months ago. Like you can go and do that and then start making, so if you don't have life insurance, you can go ahead and start making payments on it, like $50 a month, you know.
See, I didn't know that. I didn't know that at all.
So
I was going based off of like an untimely, like like untimely death or something like that. And I just, you know, it's to the point where even if I had life insurance, that's my thing. Like, even if I had life insurance, say I had like $100,000 policy or whatever, like if you want to use that, you know, or how about I make y'all lives more comfortable?
But your funeral wouldn't be that like funerals.
I know it wouldn't. I know it wouldn't. I'm just talking about period. I mean, you get a nice pine box. That's still $3,000 for a coffin.
Listen, you know I will get on this podcast and blast whoever it is, Daniel, who you talk. If that man had $100,000 policy and y'all can't spend 15 to see him, I'll be so mad.
I mean, I get it. I'm just saying, I'm indifferent. I guess I'm indifferent about it, is what I'm saying. Like,
and that's why we having this conversation. As young as we are, we're having these conversations because people are, due to COVID, people were passing and didn't have policies and stuff. And then people did pass and that did have policies and people were spending the money however they choose to. But this is a conversation that we having publicly, that you can plan your funeral how you want it before you pass. Like, you don't have to leave it in the hands of other people. You can say you want this, you know, and then when your family member come in, it's already, he done had it, we got to go by, you know.
He done already paid for it.
Right. Or either in the process of paying for it, you know. And if they ain't got no power of attorney or the executive of your estate, they can't make no changes like that. None whatsoever.
Definitely. Okay.
But I think these conversations need to be had more because people are passing due to like gun violence, or you know, these conversations need to be had in
circumstances.
Yeah, that.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
there ain't no telling what kind of virus gonna come next. You might have the roach virus taking everybody out. You just never know these days.
Ain't lying. But so final thoughts. I say I'm more on the cremation. I'm 30% cremation, 70% burial. So Daniel, you're like whatever is that. Whoever planning it at the time, that's whatever you going with.
Yeah, cause he ain't got no say.
I mean, I ain't got. That's what I guess. That's what my point is. Like, it's not like I can be like, I ain't like it.
You can still
looking down from heaven, like, nope, I wanted a blue coffin.
Yeah, like Ashley said. Well, I mean, it wasn't planned, but kind of like how you were saying with your mom, like you disregarded her wishes. She wanted to be cremated, and you gave her a burial, like stuff like that. Like, I guess that's more so what Daniel's saying. Like, you really don't really have a say. Like, you can plan something out to tell people this is what I want, but at the end of the day, the person getting that money and the beneficiary, they can do what they want to do and put you what they want to do.
And it's
but see, that's the thing. Like, she didn't have it written. She didn't have it written that this what it was. Like, that was doing conversations. Like, when we would just talk, like, not like a sit down, like, so mom, what would you? It wasn't. It was just like jokingly, because I didn't like her. I didn't like her smoking. So I was like, all right, no, yeah, it's gonna beat you. Go. And she was like, well, you know what to do with me. I like these cigarettes, light my ass up like a cigarette. So she would joke like that, you know. Right, and so when it unfortunately, like unfortunate circumstances, she passed. And then that was like, oh my God. Like, and so jokingly, I was like, light her ass up. And everybody started laughing, you know. And I was like, I'm not doing that. Because in the Black family, we don't burn people up. We don't do that, you know. But because I told her, joking, when she was alive, I said, I'm gonna cremate you and I'm gonna sprinkle you at the Newport factory and Shane's Rib Shack, because she loved
Newport factory.
She loved Newport. You know, Black people smoke Newport. You know?
Let me get them Holtz Hunnets in the box.
But but Daniel, to go with what you're saying, people, whoever's doing it that's close to you, that's planning your funeral, which it has to be either like your mom or your wife or, you know, somebody that's like really,
they're gonna know what I like anyway.
Yeah, they know exactly. They know what you like. So I knew, even though we didn't have the conversation of burial, it was always cremation. I knew she was a black and gold person. So got the gold vault, got the black and gold cast, got black and gold, I knew what she liked. So that's what it is. So, but the conversation still need to be had. So, but Whitney, you're on the fence of both, or you're leaning more towards your family probably would. What did your family would say? They'd be like, what? We're gonna bury you.
For me?
Yeah. They're not gonna go. Would they go with the cremation, or they're like, nah, we're not doing that in this thing?
I feel like they would go with it. I mean, I ain't married right now, but like, I feel like my sister, if I tell her like the stuff that I want to make happen, like I feel like she would, because I guess that's a difference. Like when you're single versus when you
Have a
have
family.
a family and a spouse. Because I feel like if you have a spouse, like they're gonna go, they know what your last wishes or what your wishes would be as it pertains to like their burial or cremation or whatever the case may be. But if it's just like you're single and it's left up to whoever, if you have a beneficiary or you just left up to people who are close to you, they gonna do what they want to do. Like they're not gonna, live up to your wishes. So I'm just open to it. Like I'm not like crossing cremation out, and I'm not saying, oh yes, definitely. I'm not thinking about cremation, just bury me. But I'm just open to it. Like I'm thinking about it.
I'm the same way.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I gotta plan one of my uncles thing. He ain't passed yet, but I just want to go ahead and have the shit laid out, because when he do pass, I don't want to be. I can't cry and plan a funeral at the same time. So
Yeah.
I'm about to make my appointment. Let's be like, let me come plan his stuff so I can know how much money I need to have set to the side. Whatever. But But yeah, so that's the end of this podcast. Thank you for everybody that's watching and the playback. Daniel, do you have any can you tell them where to follow you at, because you got on a little late, and then do you have anything coming up that
You can follow me on Instagram and TikTok at I_am_rhythm. Rhythm is spelled RHYTHYM. I don't really have nothing going on at the moment. Just like I said last week, just working on the album, and doing some script writing. But other than that, I don't really have too much going on.
See, I've been missing. I did not know Daniel was working on the whole album.
we found that out last week too.
Oh, okay.
And we was like, we want I think Cortney was like, she's getting her vocals right. And I was just like, I just want to be in a sketch, like, some comedy type stuff. Like,
we supposed to do that anyway. Like, you're supposed to do that anyway.
I know, right?
I can write gold for you right now.
I've been thinking about getting a TikTok lately.
Oh my God,
you
can do so much good stuff on there, especially with your food. Like, you're gonna have people hooked on TikTok.
You will blow
I've been thinking
up.
about it.
I'm telling you. That the Chinese restaurant at the mall went viral, not once, not twice, but 3 times, 3 separate accounts, just for putting a lot of food in the box. Literally, that's it.
I like that sweet and sour chicken and that bourbon chicken.
Let's not talk about it, because you're gonna make me go there on my lunch break tomorrow. I ain't had that.
That's what I'm about to be like, what I gotta do tomorrow? I think it's a couple restaurants.
You let me know if you go on the Florence and hitting there, I'll cash it.
Well, I think I'm cooking on the grill tomorrow. I marinated some ribs and some turkey wings. So if the weather is good, I'm
cooking for yourself, or are you cooking?
No, for myself. Look at, no, I don't know, DeAndrea. I don't know.
Well, I'm playing for a plate. That's all I got to say.
Well, I'll let you know if the weather is good. Then if not, then I just wait until Tuesday, whatever. But
if not, you can just put it in the oven, and I'll still pay for a plate.
I don't want that. I don't want oven. I want the charcoal.
Is definitely a foodie. Like, he ain't cutting no corn.
I want that charcoal.
Hey, no excuse.
I want that smokiness.
I'm gonna send you this video. There's a dude that gets the smoky taste. He got like the wood chips in the oven. I got you. You don't need the grill. It's 2021.
Oh, Jesus. Well, all right, y'all. Y'all have a good night. Appreciate y'all for coming on this week. You got any suggestions or any topics that y'all see throughout the week? Inbox them to me. But I'll see y'all next Sunday for episode 14.
45.
Bye, you guys.